Hello, everyone. This is episode 27 of Here Comes the Pitch, a podcast about pitching story ideas. I'm your host, Derk Harron, and in today's episode, I will be pitching a horror story called Dungeon to my guests, the SCUM of Tempe and Birdie Birdashaw. I would compare this story to the movies Antichrist and Audition. Well, without further ado, here comes the pitch. Well, we're back. Thank you, Birdie, for the last episode.
Oh, no
that was a great pitch, man. Thank you. I really dig that. We'll definitely... I don't know if you thought of a name for it.
Haven't yet.
Yeah. So once I finally, it gets time close to posting these episodes, we'll collaborate. Because another thing too is that I create a piece of artwork for every episode. Yeah. And so I'm looking forward to that, man. Oh, I love one of the pitches that I recently did actually was about about these young kids kind of starting a band, and so. But I love your premise of this guy that's like, oh, I lied about this band and now I got to create it just to keep this relationship going. I totally dig it. So, SCUM. This story that I'm going to pitch, it kind of brings you into a world that you know quite a bit about, and we kind of brought it up about how you used to work at Castle Boutique. Yes. We'll get into that. But what I love is some of the stories that you tell about the adult industry and how you know Ron Jeremy and Belladonna and I'm always fascinated.
Didn't I see you with Joanna Angel?
Oh yeah, I've known. Yeah,
yes.
I've probably seen her 10, 12 times, 15. Yeah.
And see, the thing is that I don't know how these people would forget you.
Yeah,
because you have you have this personality. You're a lovable guy, and then also when I first met you. And you told me that your name was SCUM. I was like, well, what? That you go by SCUM of Tempe. And
I always tell people how we met. It's the funniest thing.
Yeah.
How'd you guys meet?
Amazing Arizona Comic-Con. It was my second convention.
Okay.
I'm working on my pitch for my own book, trying to get people to read it. So I got to, I don't do sexy girls, I don't do superheroes. I have to sell you one funny.
Right.
So you have to open the book and read it and find out it's funny. So I was like, these books are magic. If you open them up, you'll start laughing. And they're like, really? I was like, yeah. If you don't believe me, check for yourself. They're 2 pages in, they're laughing. Yeah, this is great. So this is going on. Once I figured this out, this is how I get people to buy my books.
Right.
But my best friend Coop, he's like, yeah, it's guaranteed to make you laugh. And I'm like, don't say that. And it's everybody who opens the book laughs. So all day, laughter, selling. And so I'm with my friend Ross, who's on the other side of me, the other table. And we're trying to figure out, what are you going to do if someone doesn't laugh? I'm like, I don't know. It hasn't happened yet, but I'm scared. And then we're pitching ideas for each other. I go, so what if, while they're reading, if they don't look like they're going to laugh, we can just, make a fart noise.
Yeah.
Because and we're yeah. It's or maybe you have you could push a button and a little fart will come out, and that's got to make them laugh. And while we're having the conversation, it's but does everyone think farts are funny? Not a second later, SCUM walks right in front of us. The shirt says, I love to fart.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, you... And we told him what happened. He read the book and loved it, and I put him in a comic strip and everything. And,
oh, you did?
Yeah.
Well, him and his buddy go, dude, where were you? Now I'm shocked because I'm around the corner, And they go, we were just talking about this and that, and fart's still funny, and then you know what he said about the fart noise. I reach in my pocket, I pull out a keychain, and I go, I had one of those that made it. And they were just talking about it. He goes, "What, dude?" And they said, "Are you psychic?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Are the Cubs ever going to win the World Series?" And I said, within the next 5 years. 2 years later, they won.
Yeah.
Or maybe 3 years, I'm not sure. But, yeah. So then he puts me in a comic, right? He draws me as a pig. I'm not sure why.
I like everyone has various animals, so it seemed fitting to be called Scum and Fart. And
I'm wearing my SCUM hat, and I got my I Love to Fart shirt.
Yeah.
And then, he put me in there. I'm in there for like a sketch.
That's awesome, man. That is a great story of how you guys met.
And then I seen you the next year. All these Comic-Cons, they flow together for me. You know, I'm not sure. But I seen him again, and I walked up and said, "Hey, you're me, blah, blah, blah." And so whenever I'm at a con, I see him, and then now we hang out on, you know.
we go drinking and
yeah, we go drinking and we take our shirts off for photographs. And
yeah, that was one of the drinking draws. Like I went to, and then I knew Birdie was going to be there, but then SCUM showed up, and I was like, and then I think I walked in, and you guys had your shirts on. I was like, what the fuck's going on in here? And it was just, that was a good time, man.
I sent that picture to a girl I liked too, and then she thought I was gay. And I was like, "You're just having fun." I'm like,
just taking her shirts off.
I was like, "How did you think that?"
I went to my photographs and found that photo I told you about. One of my friends, he passed away, you know, and so we all met up at the bar, and I don't know how it got started, and I don't even know if I should say, but this is a photograph.
Oh, I remember this, yeah.
This is a photograph at Palo Verde.
Oh, I remember that. I know that photo.
Yeah. And yes, right. I guess you say I'm showing all my tattoos there.
Yeah. Well, look at Sonny and Josh are there.
Yeah.
Corey's there.
Corey, Scott, and Gabe.
That's like my
Jawa,
whole circle of friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
That's a classic photo right there.
Yeah, no, I know that photo. But,
all right, so the SCUM porn that you were writing.
Oh. Well, all right. So, no, the story that I have is actually, I'd say it's kind of a romance story, but, like, it definitely takes a dark turn. But because I thought of this story like probably about 7 or 8 years ago, and then I've just been building on it, and then like I started kind of researching a little bit of like about Arizona's like adult industry and kind of the S&M kind of stuff. I don't know if you know too much about that stuff, that like kind of the horns and halos. That those group of people and stuff like that, and you know, I kind of heard, you know, I've seen James Bound. I don't know if you've ever met James Bound.
I don't think so.
He's one of the co-creators of Horns and Halos that like they put on like the cupcake dance parties and stuff like that, and like it's for like the S&M community, and I don't know, just also, like, you know, there's a lot of HTC body piercing.
Yeah.
You've heard of them.
Of course.
Yeah, like, well, they're known for, like, their modifications and stuff like that. Yeah. And it was, I think it was, Steve
Hayworth.
Steve Hayworth.
Yeah, I was going to bring his name up, but you did. He's actually a good buddy of mine.
Oh, really?
I was going to have him hang me with the hooks. And I got at him and on Facebook, it might even been MySpace so long ago, and he said he wasn't doing it at that time because it was like late in the year. He wasn't going to do it till March, and because we're going to do it outside, it's going to be cold, you know, and shrinkage. And so I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? I got a lot of tattoos on my back, and I really don't want to. And I'm a big guy. He goes, yeah, we'll just put another hook or two on you, and I'm like, I got a lot of tattoos on my back. I don't want to mess them up, and I don't want to be this big old naked fat guy hanging on hooks. Like, so I never did it, but I've always wanted to go to one of those events.
Yeah.
But yeah, Steve Hayworth, I know he does a whole lot of that stuff.
Yeah. Well, he was I believe he was one of the co-creators of Horns and Halos, like those, those crazy events. Have you ever heard of the Black and Tan, the bar?
I know the drink.
I know the drink.
But I know that
is that in Phoenix?
It is. There's a location now, but it used to be kind of like a pop-up bar where they didn't have like a liquor license and stuff like that, but it was just a way of like kind of that community to hang out and I remember one time at one point it was just like this trailer out in the middle of nowhere, kind of on the outskirts of Phoenix, and we went. My buddy's band played, and it was like one of the creepiest like fucking like moments of my life, because I was like 18, 19, you know, and I remember going there, and like there was a guy who like was strapped, like he had like a couple guns on him, and then he had like looked like a very ferocious dog standing next to him, and like they were behind the bar, you know, arms crossed and like very intimidating, and since it was like this trailer, there was like multiple rooms, and each room had like a different color light to it. And so like there was the blue room, there was the red room, there was the green room. Like I think the red room was like, it had like 2 bunk beds in it, and like all over the walls was plastered just like you know, just S&M and porno stuff, porno magazine pictures and stuff, and then like there was like a blue room, which was like a drug room where you could like smoke and do whatever, and then that was the first time I ever saw James Bound, because he was like, there was another room that was like the dance room, and they like had this crazy strobe light going off, and then like at one point the strobe light turns off, and then it just everything goes to like a black light. And then like I saw that he had like all these crazy black light tattoos all over him. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like I was really creeped out.
Yeah. Right.
You know, and like I remember,
you know, see me getting just here, it's like I'm a little startled. I'm open-minded.
Yeah, and I just remember I like my buddy was like, give me a beer, and I was just like, I don't know, man. Like I don't know these dudes, and I remember he was just like, he gave me a 20, and then he's like, buy a beer for yourself. And so I was like, can I, like, what do you guys have to drink here? And he was just like, a beer. And I was like, can I have a beer? And he's like, he gets the can out and then opens it and then puts it down on the table and he goes, $10.
Wow.
And I was just like, and he already opened it, so you gotta take it. And so I gave him the 20, and then like I remember like I didn't tip him, like he was pissed off about that, and so like I go back and then I only have one beer from my friend. He's like, I thought I told you to buy a beer for yourself, and then I was like, it was $10, and so we had to share this beer together. Wow. And it was so intimidating, and like I was so freaked out, and like, one of the friends that was with us, like his girlfriend was super drunk, and she was making an ass of herself, and I was just like, there's all these freaky people, like I don't want to piss anybody off, so we like got her out pretty quick, and and then they actually really liked my friend's band, and so they asked us to come back, and it was really. That was what was so funny, was that like we ended up showing up early, and like nobody was there, and like you just realized that like this haunted house that you were originally in is just like a regular house. It's this dude's house, and like he's like this super nice guy, and then like you just find out like, oh, okay, like these people aren't gonna rip my face off, so and so. Why I tell you this story is it kind of gives you an idea of like the world building that I'm trying to do for my story. That maybe there's this couple that like are part of this community, but like they want something more, you know.
Yeah.
Like they're after something new. Like it's gotten to a point where like this is just the norm for them, and so they end up meeting this other couple, and realize that like maybe this is the next step. This is the next thing, and so they learn a lot from this other couple. In kind of the S&M type of play and stuff like that, and like these people have like their own like this shack that they built that like they use as kind of like a dungeon situation, and so like and
take them out to the woodshed.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, fuck them.
So they're and like it just it's just they're totally into it. They're totally lured by it. Like this is like, wow, this is something new that we can experience. Like they feel like what they have been doing was interesting, but like at one point it just feels watered down. So let's take it up a notch. And then, but what do they know about this couple? What like they don't know these people. Like why are they putting so much trust into them? Because that's another thing about bondage and everything is finding a person that you can trust, and so that you can live out your fantasies and things like that, and I think that that's where they messed up, is that like sure at first you're lured in, but like these people end up taking advantage of you. And what the twist is it's this couple that recently moved in. Nobody knows them.
Yeah.
That and what they do is they find couples and they kind of lure them in, and then allow them to like live out their fantasies, but then at some point they find out all your information, and then they pretty much rob you blind to the point where they take your identity.
Yeah.
And like I thought it would be interesting because like this idea has been kind of done before. Like there's single white female. There's where this woman becomes so obsessed with this other woman that like she wants to become her. But I've never seen it where it was like a couple. Like maybe like where they start to become these people, and then like they end up like in a sense kind of replacing them. Or just using like finding out that like maybe these people don't have much of a family, like they don't have children, and so that like and since they're just passing through, they can kind of like take their identity. Like I know that there's like that old horror movie Stepfather, where he like finds women, and then they fall in love with him, and then like you think that he's a good guy, and then he ends up like killing the whole family. And then moving on to the next town. And so I thought that would be interesting if it was kind of like this kind of like Bonnie and Clyde type of couple.
What if they instead of just stealing their identities, they kind of switched identities? So they get to have the money from the rich couple, and the rich couple gets left with nothing. And then they just go to the next town and do it. It's like they burn all their cash, do it again. Like it's a serial effect, like they're going town to town.
Explain that to me again.
Okay.
So like the couple
with the shed.
Okay, with the shed.
So they're stealing the identity from the other people.
Right. The people that are like know the community.
The vanilla BDSM people.
Okay, yeah.
And so as they're taking their identity and everything they have, they're replacing the information so that person has their identity.
Oh, okay.
So then there's no record of them. Like when they go to the next town, they have a record of someone, wholesome people, and it's actually people who lure someone in, take their money, leave them with nothing and someone else's identity, and then switch back. So they're not even like the same people. They just keep changing identities.
Interesting. So the people that are traveling are like they're always just somebody new.
Yeah.
So
they steal the last person's identity.
Yeah, that's kind of how I thought of it. Like that. Like that. They're just. Yeah. I'm glad that you kind of explained it because I didn't explain it very well. but yeah, I just thought it's kind of like this traveling couple that they find couples, they drain them of everything that they have, and then they take their identity and they move on. And so they have like this. They also find couples that have like a clean past, to an extent. But I thought that it would be interesting, like maybe that this couple or whatever kind of get the best of them, since they kind of know about since they're so heavily involved in the S&M community that they're not too surprised by what these people are trying to do to them. And so
maybe they find out that this has been going on for years.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's what kind of jumps in. It's like in a sci-fi. It's like it's supposed to be that it's always been this way, till that one person figures it out and just ruins everything.
Right.
That's what you would see.
Yeah. So, I can also think of another movie I
feel like it's a detective, almost doing research. Well, these people they used to live here, and then da-da-da, and then they piece it all together. And
yeah.
Did you ever see that movie that Kevin Smith directed, Tusk?
No, I haven't.
I don't think so.
I saw the first 20 minutes, and I haven't liked a Kevin Smith movie since Dogma.
Okay. Yeah, I like that he's taking chances. He's taking risks, and he's not fully in the Jay and Silent Bob world anymore. But I hear he's coming back with all that stuff.
He's always trying. Yeah, it makes some money.
Yeah, it did. But I like the idea that he started making horror movies, and I
saw Red State too. That was another crazy one.
Yeah, Red State was okay.
Yeah, but it's not my thing. I'm a big sissy, so it's
a crazy cult situation. But back to the story. I don't know. Yeah, I just thought this. They've been doing it for so long. They've been stealing people's identities and moving on to the next town. That here's this couple that they finally met their match. That even though they're lured in by kind of the sadistic way they live, they know a lot about it, and they know how to figure the situation out. And
so now someone kidnaps them, and now they're the sex slaves.
Interesting, because the thing is that they wouldn't. There's no real record of them. Sure, they've taken on other personalities, but once you look that up, those people are dead. They've actually, or they were found dead or missing. And so additionally, they're nobodies.
Because if they're still hanging out with the whole bondage scene, someone finds out who they are by anything, they got drunk and let it slip, or somebody says, wait a minute, I went to school with this guy back 17 years ago, right?
Right.
That's Joe Smo. It's not Joe No.
Someone blows their cover.
Yeah. Someone blows their cover because maybe since they're so heavily in the S&M community that somebody knows about them from years back, and so they kind of put the puzzle together
Yeah.
They solve the mystery, and then
either turns them in or puts them in a dungeon.
Yeah.
Makes them a sex slave, naked. Birdie, put your shirt back on. What are you doing?
I was trying to be a visual aid.
All right, I'm taking my shirt off. I don't care if we're on radio and you can't see it. Go ahead, Dirk.
It would be interesting that that's their way of getting back at them, is that like they become like these weird sex slaves or gimps or something like that, like from Pulp Fiction.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
Where they keep them in a box.
I was dating this fetish model. I won't say her name, but anyway.
Right.
And brought it back from the AVN convention 2007. And she, we're watching that movie, and I was like, how come the guy just, he ain't doing anything. He's not saying anything. He's not even trying to yell. He's just mumbling. Well, he's a gimp. And I'm like, so? I don't get it. She goes, well, he's not supposed to say anything. But he's about to get killed. I just didn't get it. Yeah. And I guess a gimp takes an oath of not saying anything, I guess, because I never had more than 3, so I want to know.
Yeah.
But at a time. But, so yeah, I mean, yeah, they could be found in a dungeon and...
Yeah, maybe they cut their tongues out or something like that, or...
Well, you kind of want the tongue because that's always a bonus.
But something about the nub. If they cut off just enough tongue, believe a nub. Just really torture. It was like, you get in there with that nub.
Oh, jeez.
That salad ain't gonna toss itself, son.
Oh, jeez. But I don't know. Like I just like the idea of like
tossing salad.
Like a couple going around stealing people's identities, but they finally meet this couple that like matches everything that they've done up to this point, and then plus they get outed because like they took a risk in a sense. Like they found this couple that is a part of the S&M community, and then that's how they get outed somehow. So somebody solves the mystery. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
I like it. I keep wondering if there could be like a supernatural element to it.
Okay, we could go down that.
I feel like almost like we're thinking of this reoccurring, and I was thinking like Dusk Till Dawn.
Okay,
like it's like every night they turn into vampires and slaughter everybody and take all their stuff. Like
maybe maybe they're like some
not necessarily
part
murder,
of like some witch cult or something like that. Where
just a thought.
No, I like it. Yeah. I like the idea of like that there's like some kind of weird horror
demon fetish cult. It's a
demon. Yeah, maybe that's.
And the guy gets recognized because he's got like a demon fetish tattoo, like he knows.
Okay,
like that's it's like I know that mark.
Interesting.
Maybe he has a farting toast tattoo.
So this whole community is like made up of like demons and stuff, and so like this Bonnie and Clyde couple that have like been moving around, like they realize that like, oh shit, we found this couple that are actually demons, and so now we're...
I didn't even think of that, but I think that'd be...
now we've bit off more than we can chew.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of possibilities, though, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe they take the identities and they eat the bodies.
Interesting.
You watch Heroes?
Yeah.
It was a TV show?
Yeah.
Siler. He would eat either the heart or the body, and it gave him their powers.
Well, he would actually manipulate their brain. Like, he would open up their head, see how their brain worked, because he was a watchmaker. That's why he learned how the brains work, and that's how he'd steal their powers.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's how he got his name, Siler, from Watch. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that, where maybe, like, so would the Bonnie and Clyde couple be the demons? Or maybe they
were demons who ran into a different demon cult.
Oh, okay. That maybe they knew about, like, but they don't realize it at first. Like, and then they're like, oh shit, we see the mark, or something like that. And these demons are way more aggressive and
they don't have a safe word.
They don't have a safe word. I like that idea with the Dusk Till Dawn take on it. Yeah, that like maybe they like, it was like like the devil's finally caught up to him, like or something along those lines, where they've
I'm just wondering, do they live who lives happily ever after this?
Well, it just seems like that they finally
the demon orgy.
The demon orgy. Yeah, they live happily ever after because they're just like, oh, well, these people are like, they literally have no identities.
Yeah.
Because they've been stealing people's identities, so no one's going to miss them.
Yeah.
So this is like the perfect meal.
Exactly.
Because there's no cover up, really.
Yeah.
So.
And they could be like a almost zombified sex slave kind of thing, like they, like with a vampire, like when they drain, like when they make a ghoul, like they drain enough blood,
right?
But they still are alive. They're slaves. Like that could be that kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Possibly.
No, I like that too. Where it's kind of like their they're slaves or whatever. Like who was the slave of Dracula? Like in the, can't think of his name.
I couldn't either.
Igor.
Well, like
Igor
an Igor type of character. Yeah. But Remsfield, right? Remsfield.
Sure, that's what. I haven't seen Dracula in years. So.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, I like the idea of like a kind of like a supernatural take on it too. I don't know. It makes me want to like develop it more.
I thought you were going to say find a sex slave.
Yeah.
Vampire orgy and
vampire orgies. Like
that would sell so well too because people are still in love with vampires.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. There's something that especially women love to fantasize about.
Oh, that's my Facebook feed right now. Is pictures of the Lost Boys.
Oh yeah.
And then like, who's your favorite sexy vampire? And it's like, and mine's always. I always like the. Do you ever see What We Do in the Shadows?
Yeah, I did.
I always like the Taika Waititi's character.
Oh yeah, the guy that he dresses like he's
a
like
little dandy. Yeah.
Yeah. Like from like the 17th century or something like that. Yeah, no, that movie's pretty good. I need to see it again.
I love that movie. So.
Yeah, but
I need to see it once.
The same guy. It's only like 5-6 years old now.
Yeah, but didn't that guy do a lot of stuff with Flight of the Conchords and stuff?
Yeah, Taika Waititi was a director of the show, and then one of the stars, Jermaine Clement, was in the movie. Uh-huh. And then Taika Waititi just directed Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, and now he's there's a good possibility that he's going to direct the new Guardians of the Galaxy.
I can see that. That's up his vein.
Yeah, that they definitely took like a right turn with, or left turn rather, with Thor. They kind of made it more like the Guardians.
I felt Thor Ragnarok was a lot like a Flash Gordon.
Yeah,
like it's very cheesy and out there, but it's so much fun.
Right.
Like it's one of the first times I've liked Thor. Like the other two movies, I'm like, I get it. You got a hammer. You're awesome. You got blonde hair, and girls love you.
Stop. Hammer time. I finally seen Deadpool. I saw it like 2 weeks ago, and I saw it last night.
The original or the sequel?
The original. I'm not going to watch the sequel until I see the original. But I just saw the original 2 weeks ago, and I saw it yesterday. So,
what did you think? Did you like it?
It was weird because I think the first one was drunker than I thought. Because I go to work and I got a buddy of mine. And him and I talk about comics, and sometimes he has to wait an hour for the bus, and we'll just talk about all the comics and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
his name's Smoking Joe, and he always has a Deadpool hat. He loves Deadpool, and I'm like, I've never seen it. I have the first appearance, New Mutants '98, third print. But anyway, I haven't even read it. And I found in the dollar bin. And I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
I thought it was original. And I was like, "Oh, it's a third print and it's Tor, but whatever." So I never seen Deadpool, and I thought maybe when I first seen everybody dress up at Comic-Con, I was like, "Oh, Spider-Man got a new uniform." Yeah, a new suit, right? So the first one I saw, like I said, I must have been pretty drunk or than normal, and so I came on last night, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and what the hell, you know. So I watched it. It was way better the second time, you know, because I was watching and in my mind he was only the regular guy for like a couple minutes, right? And then when I watched it the second time, more sober, I was like, man, he was the regular guy for a long time. So yeah, it was actually a pretty good movie. I can't wait to see part 2. They got a red box by my house.
Yeah, part 2's good.
So I think I liked part 2 better, actually, because I thought the first one was a little bit too much of a romance movie.
Yeah.
And so...
I go half and half either way.
Yeah.
You do. Oh, no, that was just on the movie, sorry.
No, the first one, yeah, I can see the romance element. But like the second one, I thought... I'm not going to do a spoiler, but near the end it gets a little sappy.
Yeah,
for a good portion. I'm like,
so you guys both seen part 2?
Yeah,
yeah. I got to go to that red box.
My stepsons are like really into Deadpool.
So I never liked Deadpool, but I like the movies.
Yeah, I was never into the comic books. So.
And the cosplayers are the worst. Like,
yeah, Deadpool fans are the worst thing about Deadpool.
They like, give me some chimichangas. That's funny.
Yeah.
Dude, I was at Comic-Con out in May, right? I'm walking down the hall, and there just happens to be like 5 Deadpool in front of me, right? And every now and then they would pose. So here I am, I'm like fucking photobombing all these things. I figured there's a camera out of Comic-Con with a photobomb. Why not? It'd be funny. And I must have photobombed these guys like 7 or 8 times. So I'm finally getting closer to them because they were stopping. I'll keep walking. I finally said, man, can I get a picture with you? And I got a picture of, I don't know, a couple of them. It's on my page, whatever. But I can just imagine all these Deadpool fans. Who's that bald guy?
Like, I'm old Cable.
Cable.
And I was wearing my shirt with the finger that was pointed that way.
Yeah.
It said, he farted.
Yeah.
So these Deadpool guys were like, who's this farting guy?
Well, cool, man. I think we'll end the episode there.
All right.
Thanks for listening to my pitch.
Liked it.
Yeah, I like the supernatural element to it. I love that movie From Dusk Till Dawn. So
it's one of my favorites. It's
I think it's my favorite Robert Rodriguez movie, and then like it's one of my favorite screenplays by Quentin Tarantino. So
I think I like El Mariachi a little more.
Yeah, that one's good. Like it's crazy that he made that movie with like $10,000.
Yeah, you know how he made that $10,000?
No,
he sold himself to science.
Oh yeah, I remember
they did
that
a study. It's I forgot for like cholesterol medicines. Like the longer it's like you stay there, and it's like every day you're there, you get paid more and more and more. So he was just writing the screenplay, making bank.
I almost did that for gout for your foot.
Okay,
I was going to pay like $2,100, and I had to stay there like 10 days. And my job totally sucked. So I was like, well, you know what? The perfect time to go in and make $2,100, right? One of my sisters was staying with me at the time, and I said, Ginger, I got to make this phone call because the first so many people, they already called me and said I was approved, but a lot of people were approved. They only needed so many. My sister said, oh, yeah, because I said, I'm going to be at work. Got a call. I come back, hey, I said, what happened when you called? Oh, I forgot. I could have made, and I'm talking about this 20 years ago. Right. $2,100 is,
still a lot now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, just for the story, it was a lot more than it is now.
I don't get
That's like saying you get $3,000 now, I guess, but yeah.
Yeah.
And so I never actually did it, but I was going to do it for just stay there 10 days, and I don't know how I would have drank, but.
Had to slip it in.
I don't want to know where. And I drink a lot.
Well, cool, man. We'll end it there, but we'll come back, and then Scum, you're going to pitch us a story.
All right.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Yep.